So, our next performer, he's been working as a professional musician for over 35 years. He's a favorite here. He's been a part of the show since it began. This is the longest running magic show in New York, 18 years. We're legal. So, we're very excited, and we're always overjoyed to have him. So make some noise, get excited for Peter Kougasian, everybody. Give him a
Thank you very much, Harrison, for that kind introduction. But ladies and gentlemen, just now I had one of those revelations that comes over a person perhaps once in a lifetime. You see, I look back over my entire performing career of 35 years, and I saw that the whole thing has been nothing but a phony, a fraud, a fake, a cynical deception. It's been like one long Kardashian wedding. And why? Why? Because yes, I performed in nightclubs and theaters all around New York, but I realized just now that every one of those nightclubs and all of those theaters have one thing in common. Today, every one of them is a Starbucks. Every one of them is slapping a label that says "Race Together" on your morning coffee. And why? Why? Well, because for 35 years I've been coming before audiences much like yourselves, pretending to be some kind of wonder worker, performing an impromptu evening of spontaneous miracles, when in fact all I was doing was exactly the same tricks, in exactly the same order. Now, true, the audience had never seen me before, and in some sense they were none the wiser. But somewhere deep within myself, I had to realize I was the biggest fraud in New York City. In Albany, they have worse. But here in New York, I was the bottom. And so I've decided that tonight I'm going to cut myself off from that sordid past. Could I hear an hallelujah? Tonight I'm going to show some respect to my audience and to myself. Could I hear an hallelujah? Tonight, right here on the stage of Bob Jones University, I'm not going to do the same tricks in the same order. Tonight, I'm going to do the same tricks in reverse order. Starting with my encore. Now, I don't do my encore every night. I only do my encore on those very special evenings when at the end of my ordinary presentation, the audience is cheering and screaming so wildly and so incessantly that they literally will not let me off the stage, no matter how hard I try. Good night, everyone. Would you like to see one more? Michael, do I have time for one more? This is today's USA Today. Now, ever since I started doing this trick 27 years ago, I've been taking a frightening audience poll. Frightening because I always get exactly the same answer. The question is simple. By show of hands, how many of you have bought or read any part of today's, Monday's, USA Today? Our usual answer, absolutely no one. It's a little scary because there are 130 people in the audience tonight. But what's really scary is that by my calculation, I have now asked that question of 85,000 people. Nobody reads it, nobody buys it. Now, here's my point. They say they sell 9.5 million copies every day. It's a drug front. Okay, I broke the law. Because people always think they've caught me in some terrible contradiction. They say to me, Uncle Pete, if you really can't see into the future, why do you bother to buy the USA Today? Well, the answer is, I don't buy the USA Today to know what the news is. Lord knows there's no news in it. I buy the USA Today because the articles are so stupid. And the headlines are so unintentionally funny that I love to tear them out like I'm doing now, and then take them home where I save them forever. I really do have a collection at home of my all-time favorite idiotic USA Today headlines. Oh, a recent addition of my collection, which you'll like. I'm kind of proud of it because it was on the front page. They had a front page headline that said, average American gets older. They don't realize the average American has no choice. But another reason I use the USA Today for this trick is that no matter how many times I rip it, and no matter how small the pieces get, each piece still has 4 articles on it. And of course, if I flip it like this, you can see the whole thing. Yes, and one piece again. The same high military. The same photos. The same headlines. Thank you very much. Thank you. And now for my immediately preceding trick. And you know, if this doing things backwards catches on in magic, I think it could have application in a wide variety of other fields, like television, like like The Bachelor. You do The Bachelor backwards, it's just like real life. First you get married, then you meet all the women you could have had. or foreign policy. Like, look, George W. Bush and Barack Obama probably agree about nothing, except that you run your foreign policy backwards. First you fight the war, then you try to figure out why. Okay, you don't go for the political humor. It's all right. I thought that today we would do a card trick backwards. Because if you think about it, the way a magician ordinarily does a card trick is the magician has someone select a card, and the magician then tries to find it. What if today we begin by having the magician find the card and then see if anybody selects it? But as you can tell from this description of the trick, it requires the assistance of an audience assistant, or as I say, an audience non-volunteer. Now why non-volunteer? Because think of it, at this point in my presentation, anyone who would volunteer to come down this aisle, up these stairs, and stand next to me would have to be self-loathing and neurotic. We don't want those people. So what we do is we ask the genuine volunteers to raise their hands. Genuine volunteers, raise your hands. And then we will try to pick someone who, perfect, yes. Yes, the woman who is recoiling from me in our contempt. Please stand up. Yeah, she's standing up. Hold on, wait there. I wish you could have seen her nodding her head as though to say, yes, curse my fate, these things always happen to me. All right. Now, first of all, what is your name?
Mary.
Mary is her name. And Mary, where are you from? No, wait. I don't care. Okay. Mary, here's what we're going to do. In just a moment, I'm going to ask you merely to think of any card in the deck. Now, ladies and gentlemen, years ago I was abducted by space aliens from the planet Huva, who probed me, but left me with the gifts of precognition and clairvoyance. So here's what I propose to do. First, using the great gift of precognition, I'm going to project my thinking to that future moment of time when lovely Mary is merely thinking of her card. Then, using the great gift of clairvoyance, I'm going to suck in her brainwaves, figure out the card that she is merely thinking of. Then, I'm going to come back to the present time, find her card in this deck before she even thinks of it. Before she even thinks of it. And to make it even more difficult, I'm going to impose an additional condition. I'm going to do all that while standing on one foot. Mary, are you ready? Found it! Okay, everybody. I seem to have succeeded. Now, Mary, what I would like you to do first.
Not ready.
She's not ready. Okay, Mary, I'll handle the jokes. What I'd like you to do, I want you first to think of a color, red or black. Now I want you to think, is English your first language, Mary? Okay. Now I want you to think of a suit. Clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds. Now, I want you just to think of any card in the deck. Now, in just a moment, I'm going to ask lovely Mary to scream out the name of her card. At that point, I could turn this card around and show it to you all. Please. We meet today in a sprawling amphitheater, a veritable hippodrome. If I turned this card around, you couldn't tell if it was the 5 of diamonds or the 6 of hearts. Some of you in the back don't know if I'm holding a card at all. So here's what I propose to do. When Mary yells out the name of her card, assuming that she's ready, I will then look at the card, because I'm the closest guy to it, and then I will assure you of two things. First, that the trick worked. Second, Brian Williams really got shut down over Iraq. You just have to believe certain representations. All right. This audience really doesn't go for political. You're going to go right through this act, Mary. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay. Mary. Yell out the name of your card.
7 Club.
You saw it. You said the 7 of clubs? You did not see it? In that case, we have a real miracle. Ladies and gentlemen, the 7 of clubs. Mary, come on up there. Come on up, Mary. Give her a big hand. A big hand. Lovely Mary, please stand right here next to me. What I would like you to do. Now, there's no trapdoor, Mary. You are one tough customer. That's why she was recoiling in contempt from me. All right, now, Mary, the first thing I would like you to do, now that you're closer to the card, is to fasten your lovely gaze upon this card, and through some gesture, indicate for the audience, is this, in fact, your selected card, the...
7 of Club.
And she's nodding, yes, indeed, it is. The next thing I'd like you to do, lovely Mary, is to place your hands together, make them into sort of a table like that. I will then take you... Yes, just like that. Thank you, Mary. I'll then take your card, the 7 of clubs, and place it face down, just like that. And Mary, do you know why I ask you to hold the card in that very unusual and unorthodox fashion? Because it renders you helpless when I speak. $1 on the hit of every party. It's unbelievable. All right, the next thing I would like to do is to assure you, lovely Mary, that this is an ordinary deck of cards, such as you might have in your own home. Isn't that right, lovely Mary?
Yes, exactly.
Now, I mentioned your own home, Mary, and tell me, where in fact is your home?
Los Angeles. Hey!
Oh, they're from Brooklyn. They like to pretend. Mary, where in Los Angeles are you from?
Santa Monica.
And with that beautiful visage, are you perhaps in the entertainment industry yourself, just like Uncle Pete? No! Well, you should be. What do you do for a living? Okay, we don't need your life story. All right, what we're going to do is this. Well, tell us something. Tell us something about yourself. Tell us about your education. Tell us where you grew up.
Why?
A good question. I don't get it. It's conventional. What brings you to New York, Mary?
Vacation.
Vacation. That's good. Okay, 7 of clubs. Now watch this. This is real magic. I'm going to take the 7. What do you do? They now want to know. First of all, she says Los Angeles, then she says Santa Monica. News from Mary, Earth to Mary. Those are 2 different cities. But anyway.
They are. Most people don't have that.
Oh, Uncle Pete does. Who are you talking to? All right. I'm like Mr. Geography.
City Palisades, you know that?
Yeah, I know that. It's in Jersey. All right. 7 clubs, right? Now what? I'm going to put it in the middle. Just what do you do in Santa Monica? It doesn't matter, right? Okay. You know, am I correct? They're all socialists in Santa Monica, right?
That's what I hear.
That's what you hear. Okay. I put it in the middle of the deck. Right? Yeah, no, it's the 7 of clubs going into the middle of the deck. You can all see it. Watch this. I snap my fingers. They're not going to move. Snap my fingers. I'll do it again. And it comes right back to the top. Isn't that right, Mary? Isn't that right? Hands together, hands together. Okay. And you can see, look, Mary, there's not another 7 of clubs. But you know, it's unique, she says. By the way, Mary, you know, ordinarily, when audience assistants are finished with the trick, they get our audience gift. They free Uncle Pete everybody. Look at her face right now. Would you like one of these?
Yes.
Next time. Okay. I'm going to make you laugh again at that joke before I'm done. All right, here we go. Now, the most amazing thing of all is this. If I just take my empty hands and just wave it in front of this car, look, it really is the 7 of clubs. Well, only one thing. The audience has to decide, did she earn the Uncle Pete Evermore? Lovely Mary, woman of enigma from Santa Monica. Like pulling teeth, we got nothing out of Mary. Do me a favor, those of you in the audience, during the intermission, jump her in the lobby. Okay. Now, oh, and if you enjoyed that trick, here's another trick I think you will have already enjoyed. A few feats of pure skill, using a few feet of pure rope. Not just any rope, mind you, but a clothesline. Now I've noticed that when I performed this trick here in Manhattan, people come up to me after the show and they say to me, Uncle Pete, we love that clothesline trick, but tell me, what is a clothesline? This is what people in New Jersey use to dry their clothes if Chris Christie will let them over the bridge. Now, and chief among these tricks, oh yeah, here in Manhattan they say they use them to dry their clothes, but where do they put the quarters? For hundreds of years, magicians have used these clotheslines to perform feats of pure skill, and chief among them the classic one-handed rope knot done with the left hand behind the back. This is the trick that I know brought many of you here tonight from as far away as Santa Monica. The classic one-handed rope knot done with the left hand behind the back. This is it. This is the real magic. Here we go. The classic one-handed rope knot. Those of you who are fans of the American West will be familiar with the name Will Rogers. Mary, you're familiar with the name Will Rogers, aren't you? Yes. It was old Will who went across this great country performing his classic cowboy rope tricks, and chief among them, the lariat knot trick. This was the trick that gave Will an international reputation and made it possible for Marla Maples Trump to get a job on Broadway in the Will Rogers Follies, 1991. It's her last entry in Wikipedia. What old Will did was with one flick of the wrist, he caused 5 knots to form a knot. 5 knots. When old Will did this trick, the knots were evenly spaced. I do the much more difficult logarithmic spacing. But of course, all of this is by way of prelude to what is the oldest and greatest, most frequently requested of all the classic rope tricks, and that, of course, is the classic cut and restored rope trick. Thank you. You people are just like that. All right, good. If you're not better, I'm going to go back to political humor. Then you'll be sorry. Now, let's see. For this, we're going to need another audience assistant. Now, I have friends in the audience. This rarely happens. This is like a total eclipse. It only happens then. Okay, so let's see. I saw actually. Now wait, was there someone I'm supposed to pick on here? I'm supposed to pick on her. Come on up. Come on. Come on. Please come right over. So anyway, what is your name?
Lisa.
Lisa, I'm Uncle Pete, and it's such a pleasure to meet you. Let's bring this over here. Lisa, I have a funny feeling that you're not from Santa Monica.
That is correct.
Where are you from?
Westchester.
Westchester, a place I can relate to. It's a county. They got different cities, different towns, and every one of them is strange, so I can get laughs out of it. What county? Scarsdale. Rich people, Scarsdale, Scarf, Burberry, maybe $120. Okay. Lisa from Scarsdale, what do you do? What do you do?
Real estate.
Real estate. Okay. Lisa, we've learned, speaks not in sentences, but in nouns. Okay. So real estate. What kind of real estate?
Real estate sales.
Real estate sales. They're still noun phrases, but they're just nouns. No verbs. No functions. Just nouns. Scarsdale, they're not going to give you a verb for free. It's like being away. You got to buy the Bible. You like Scarsdale?
Love it.
Okay, no pronoun, but we got a verb. We're doing good for this. All right, so now do you sell real estate? You sell it? Okay. Homes. I love you, Lisa. Lisa, did you grow up in Scarsdale? No. Are you, where do you, okay, let's guess.
I'm still growing up.
She's still growing up. Okay, so Lisa, where did you grow up?
Forest Hills.
Forest Hills. Okay, so this is a success story. And Queens. Yes, bless you, Queens. This guy misses nothing. He's like Mr. Geography Jr. over here. And is that your handsome husband over there?
Not exactly.
Lisa is one of those guys that have sophisticates. We won't even inquire, but I take it there was a loving relationship between you and this man. No. Who paid for the tickets? Don't answer. So I get this rope. You see, this is interesting. Mary wouldn't tell me anything. Lisa tells us more than we ever wanted to know. Lisa, I'm sure you've seen the trick that magicians do. Where they take the rope, they cut it in half, they put it back in one piece again. Yes.
Yes.
Yes! Now, the problem with that, Lisa, is that magicians have been doing it for... Your friend has died. You can't even care. You know what? At least, if you're going to die, at least go happy. Okay. Oh, yeah, okay, good. Yeah, that time he almost died picking up the emery board, which I take as a personal, you know, he cared at least. You know, don't you cough, I'm going to kill you. All right. So I'm sure you've seen the trick where you should... I don't know what it is, but apparently it's contagious. All right. So you've seen the trick that... Stop it. You've seen the trick that magicians do when they take the rope, they cut it in half, they put it back in one piece again.
Yes.
You've seen that like a million times.
Yes.
Right? And the whole problem is, right, that when you see it a million times in a sophisticated audience like this, that just won't do.
Yes.
Yeah, Scarsdale, they don't go for a million times stuff. They want now, go, baby. Absolutely. So we're going to do this by our own method. But we're going to begin by demonstrating how a magician ordinarily would do it so that they will appreciate a few of the finer points of our sophisticated Scarsdale-style presentation. Now, ordinarily, the magician trots out on stage, Lisa, and he says he's not really going to cut the rope at all. He's only going to seem to cut the rope. Then he takes the scissors and he cuts the rope. He says, some of you may think that I actually cut this rope. This is because you see two pieces and you can count the four ends. Therefore, you conclude that I actually cut this rope. This is because you trust your senses, because some of you are not reading Deepak Chopra. then the magician says a magic word and makes it seem as though the rope is back in one piece again. But that's not what we do. No, Lisa, we begin completely differently. You and I begin by tying together the two ends of the rope, so we have, as it were, a continuous loop of rope. Then I don't cut the rope because people would be suspicious of me. Instead, we ask our sophisticated real estate maven from Scarsdale, formerly from Queens, lovely Lisa, Forest Hills, to cut the rope between my fingers, and the key word is between my fingers. Oh, that leaves us with two pieces of rope, asserted by a simple knot. Now, Lisa, we meet during the Bill de Blasio administration, which means that after the show, people will come up to us and say, you know, we were offended by that part of the trick. Offended, we ask, in utter and sullen disbelief? Pourquoi? Offended, they say, because the two ropes are of unequal length, mirroring the class inequality and oppression. 1%, 99%. Well, don't you worry, Lisa, because I am a magician, as you may have noticed, and I can, using magic, stretch the short rope so that it is as long, nay, longer than the long rope. Unfortunately, however, this part of the trick is on what I call the avant-garde fringe of modern rope magic, and were I inadvertently to expose the secret to you here tonight, I would be regarded as a pariah among my brother and sister magicians. So I must ask, please, for one itsy-bitsy, teensy-weensy little favor. And that is when I say now, if you would all please close your eyes, so that you will not inadvertently discover the secret of how I, using magic, stretch the short rope so that it is as long, nay, longer than the long rope. Ready? Here we go. Okay, close your eyes. Okay, you can open your eyes. Okay. Yeah. You scoff at me because I'm a magician. But when you saw this same pose in 50 Shades of Grey, you went crazy. Now, oh, but still, okay, so still, don't you worry. I mean, I can convince. There's only one way to convince the cynics and skeptics in this audience. And now, that is, using magic, with les yeux ouverts, eyes open, I will, using magic, stretch the short rope so that it is as long than the long rope. Ready? Here. Okay. Mary is just a beat kind of the rest of you.
I didn't say it.
Okay. All right, you know what? Let's get the line straight, okay? All right, we'll go back in time. with your eyes open, les yeux ouverts, I will, using magic, stretch the short rope so that it is as long as the long rope. Ready? Here we go. Oh, ho, ho, ho! Now the short rope really is big and long, and the long rope is relatively short. Oh, true, Lisa. Sometimes we get what Uncle Pete calls the fast crowd. These are the people from the more sophisticated zip codes of Santa Monica who come up to me after the show and they say to me, Uncle Pete, we don't believe you stretched that rope in reality at all, or no. They say to me, what we think you did is, we think you merely slid the knot up and down along the length of the rope. Can you imagine anything as ludicrous as that? Well, don't you worry, friends and devoted fans, because these cynics and skeptics are hoisted by their own petard when I slide the knot off the end of the rope and make it disappear, or I pluck an invisible knot out of the stratosphere, toss it gently at the rope, Even then, I can unknot the rope to expose two uneven pieces of rope. The long rope, or la ropa longa, and the short rope, or la ropa curta. Now, here's the part that makes women adore me and strong men faint. It's going to make him have a coffee fit, I know. Not magic, but a sheer exertion of physical strength and Nietzschean will. I stretched the short rope so that it is equal to the long rope, leaving us with two equal pieces of rope. Even then, I can make the two ropes into one by tying a simple overhand knot at the top of the two ropes. This makes the two ropes into one, but it's not a magical restoration due to the presence of this verstunken knot here at the top of the two ropes. For it to be real magic, we have to end up with one long rope about, oh, say, this size. And you know what? There's only one way to do that, and you know what, Lisa? It's the same old cut and restored rope they've been doing for thousands of years. I guess you can't beat the original. You take the scissors, you cut the rope right in the middle. For the skeptics, you cut a little bit off the bottom. Cut. For the cynics, you cut a little bit off the top. Then you inhale. I pucker up. And I actually kiss one of the ropes. Don't laugh. In 37 states, we could be married. And it doesn't restore the rope, but what it does do is make it into one continuous rope. And then we can do one more cut. We have restored the cut and restored rope. Lovely Lisa. Ladies and gentlemen, please start again. You can get your reward, Lisa.
Right here.
Right? Don't touch it. It apparently kills people. All right. Thank you very much, Harrison Greenbaum, for that kind introduction. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Monday Night Magic. My name is Peter Kougasian, and it's always a pleasure for me to be here at Monday Night Magic, where I've captured the hearts of thousands of discriminating New Yorkers just like you through my combination of amazing sleight of hand and unsophisticated humor. And that's not even counting the island of New Guinea, where 500,000 awestruck banana farmers now believe I am God. And now for my first trip.